Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital spoilers for the coming 2 weeks, November 24th to December 5th, reveal that Michael Corinthos' wrath will be unleashed while Britt Westbourne gets shocked. Harrison Chase and Brook Lynn Quartermain will also face a stunner, so then's what GH suckers can anticipate. During the week of November 24th to 28th, Sonny Corinthos will move Laura Collins that changing her mind and admitting the verity to the bobbies would be a bad idea. Laura will keep her mouth shut about Professor Henry Hank Dalton Wharf in her box before Jason disposed of the body. Still, Britt may get updates on what Jen Sidwell did to Laura since she'll get some disgusting news. We'll see Britt lash out over commodity she finds repulsive, so stay tuned to see if this involves Sidwell's Laura setup or commodity differently. As for Jason, he'll make another attempt to move Britt to trust him, but that wouldn't be easy for her. In the meantime, Jocelyn Jacks and S. Vaughn could face impacts if Jack Brennan catches them sneaking some passion behind unrestricted doors. Over with Drew Kane, he'll deliver another marriage offer to Willow Tate. Nina Reeves is on the verge of a concession, so it's possible she'll confess marrying Drew wouldn't be a bad idea if it keeps Willow out of captivity. Michael's wrath will be unleashed soon after, so he may wind up fuming over Willow accepting Drew's marriage offer if she indeed does. Drew may bewail about his plan to make Willow his woman and play stepdad to Michael's kiddies, so that could indeed rile Michael up. Over with Chase and Brook Lynn, they're in for a shock. Brook Lynn and Chase will learn commodity that catches them off guard, so that could involve Willow and Drew's engagement do-over, too. Nathan West will also stun Dante Falconeri, so that could involve Dalton's exposure and the stopgap that Rocco Falconeri's legal issues will come a thing of the history. While Portia Robinson worries about her justification not holding up, she may have other reasons to fret over what's coming. In the meantime, Stella Henry will go from gushing over the sonogram to releasing her fury. While Stella is dining out with Curtis Ashford, they might have a tableside caller who gets under Stella's skin. GH will be pirated on Thursday, November 27th, before another appropriation happens on Friday, November 28th. The week of December 1st to 5th will bring some brand new occurrences and long-awaited story developments. However, they may plan a speedy marriage ahead of the trial, if Willow and Drew's engagement moves forward. Drew may move Willow that it'd go a long way towards securing her freedom if they tied the knot. On another note, Lucas Jones' decision to move in Windmere will bring some complications. There'll be some strange happenings at the old Cassadine estate, so Jocelyn may come decreasingly fearful about Lucas' safety. Eventually, Carly Spencer will have a hard time keeping up her Jack Brennan romantic act. Brennan appalls Carly at this point, so how long will it take him to smell she's deceiving him about her passions? It shows Britt Westbourne having a meltdown. Harrison Chase tells Alexis Davis that he can prove Michael Corinthos prevaricated about his justification. Plus, Sonny Corinthos tries to reason with Giovanni Gio Palmieri. Keep reading and let's talk about what's coming up in the ABC Cleaner pieces. On the next General Hospital, let's launch off with Chase, who's probing Drew Kane's firing during his particular time. It's all to clear Willow Tate in the crime. Chase shows up at Alexis' office. The operative declares that he can prove that Michael Corinthos prevaricated to the police about being with Jacinda Breckel that night. Chase just learned that Michael forced Nina Reeves to hire Jacinda. Also, the operative learned that Jacinda was with Ezra Boyle that night, not Michael. Michael Corinthos' advice is for Michael, he'll have a converse with Brook Lynn Quartermain. In an exercise clip for Hereafter's occasion, BLQ prodigies if she could do with Gio what Carly Spencer did with Michael. Sonny Corinthos warning General Hospital spoilers for Hereafter's occasion reveal that Gio opens up to Sonny. The mob master will tell Gio that there are moving pieces that he isn't taking into consideration. So, that might help Gio get why Dante Falconeri is so angry right now. Britt Westbourne's meltdown is for Britt. She was just attended home by Pascal after Jen Sidwell shot Professor Henry Hank Dalton. Britt is really shaken up and knows that her life is in grave peril. Still, Sidwell and Pascal both advised Britt to keep her mouth shut. As Jason Morgan grills the brunette, she sobs and says, "I need to know that you're worth me risking my life." It sounds like she could be getting ready to confess everything. Laura Collins' legal hot water. There's also Laura Collins. The woman opens her box to find Dalton dead in there. Of course, the mayor knows she's being framed. Still, it could be an uphill battle to prove her innocence. Sidwell and Ezra Boyle will both use the sunny angle to make effects indeed worse for Laura, so stay tuned. Which plot are you looking forward to seeing the most on Friday, November 21st, 2025? Partake your studies in the comment section below. Be sure to check back with Celebrating the Detergents for all the rearmost general hospital spoilers, news, rumors, appearances, and goings and updates. The final days of November and the dawn of December promise to be a period of profound transformation and escalating danger in Port Charles. The city stands on a precipice, where the lines between justice and corruption, love and strategy, and survival and self-destruction are blurred beyond recognition. This is a collective baptism by fire, a trial that will forge new alliances, shatter old bonds, and unleash furies that have been simmering for months. Over the next 2 weeks, from November 24th to December 5th, the residents of this embattled city will navigate a labyrinth of secrets, where encouraging words are often a prelude to angry threats, and every confession carries the weight of a life sentence. Week of November 24th to 28th, the point of no return. The week begins in the shadow of a buried secret and the grim aftermath of a political coup that turned deadly. The city may believe the mayoral race is over, but for Laura Collins, the real battle for her freedom and reputation has just begun. Laura's Faustian bargain and Sonny's counsel. Haunted by the ghastly image of Professor Hank Dalton's body in her trunk, Laura Collins is teetering on the edge of a moral abyss. Her every instinct as a law-abiding public servant screams for her to call the police and confess the bizarre, incriminating situation. However, Sonny Corinthos, a man well-versed in the art of navigating legal and extra-legal crises, will intervene with a heavy dose of cold, hard pragmatism. He will successfully convince Laura that changing her mind and admitting the truth to the authorities would be a catastrophic error in judgment. Sonny's argument will be unassailable from a strategic standpoint. She has no proof she was framed, and her very public feud with Dalton makes her the perfect suspect. By disposing of the body, Jason Morgan has made her an accessory after the fact, binding her fate to their silent compact. Sonny's encouraging words will not be about hope, but about survival. He will assure her that silence is her only viable shield against Jen Sidwell's machinations. Therefore, Laura will seal her lips, choosing to bear the invisible weight of this secret rather than face the very visible chains of a prison cell. This decision marks her baptism into a darker, more desperate way of life, one where the high ground of her principles must be abandoned for the swampland of realpolitik. Britt's disgust and Jason's persistent offer. While Laura grapples with her secret, Britt Westbourne, another pawn in Sidwell's game, is reaching her breaking point. Having witnessed Dalton's execution-style murder, she is living in a state of perpetual terror, her nerves frayed to their limits. Spoilers indicate she will receive disgusting news that will trigger a furious lash-out. This could be one of two things, both equally repulsive to her. The specifics of Sidwell's frame-up of Laura, a move that demonstrates his willingness to destroy an innocent, respected mayor without a second thought, revealing the true depth of his depravity. A new, vile demand from Sidwell himself, perhaps a command to use her medical position to harm another individual or to become more deeply enmeshed in his criminal empire. This news will solidify her disgust, transforming her fear into a potent, burning rage. It is in this volatile state that Jason Morgan will make another attempt to breach her defenses. He will reiterate his vow to protect her, to be the shield against the angry threats of Sidwell and Pascal. But for Britt, trust is a life-or-death proposition. Her tearful, desperate plea, "I need to know that you're worth me risking my life," encapsulates her agonizing dilemma. To confide in Jason is to potentially sign her own death warrant if he proves incapable of standing against Sidwell's power. His encouraging words are a lifeline, but one she is terrified to grasp. Passion and peril, Jocelyn's dangerous game. In another corner of the city, a different kind of risk is unfolding. Jocelyn Jacks and S. Vaughn, consumed by their burgeoning passion, continue their clandestine affair. However, the walls have ears, and the object of Jocelyn's official devotion, the dangerous Jack Brennan, is not a man to be cuckolded. If he catches even a whiff of their deception, the repercussions will be severe and potentially violent. Their stolen moments are a ticking time bomb, and the angry threats that will emerge from a betrayed Brennan could shatter more than just their relationship. A proposal of convenience and the unleashing of wrath. The most seismic shift in the social landscape of Port Charles will come from Drew Cain's relentless pursuit of a narrative. In a move that is equal parts romantic and ruthlessly pragmatic, he will deliver another marriage proposal to Willow Tate. His argument will be meticulously crafted. A swift marriage presents an undeniable picture of a united, loving couple to the judge and jury. How could a woman who attempted to murder a man turn around and marry him? Surprisingly, Nina Reeves, who has every reason to oppose this union, may find herself on the verge of a confession of her own, that marrying Drew wouldn't be a bad idea. From her perspective, a legal bond that could keep her daughter out of prison is a strategic necessity, even if it means handing Willow over to her rival. This pragmatic endorsement highlights the transactional nature of the proposal. However, this calculated plan will act as a catalyst for the unleashing of Michael Corinthos' wrath. The mere idea of Willow accepting will send him into a rage, but if Drew compounds the insult by gloating about his plan to become stepfather to Michael's children, it will be a declaration of war. Michael's fury will be a force of nature, rooted in a potent mix of possessiveness, paternal instinct, and a deep-seated loathing for Drew. The encouraging words Drew uses to sell the marriage to Willow will be heard by Michael as angry threats against his family. Shockwaves and stunning revelations. The ripple effects of this potential engagement will be widespread. Chase and Brook Lynn Quartermain are poised for a shocker that catches them off guard. This could very well be the news of Willow and Drew's engagement do-over. For Chase, who is investigating to clear Willow, this could feel like a betrayal of his efforts, or worse, a sign that Willow is succumbing to pressure. For Brook Lynn, it adds another layer of drama to a life already overflowing with her father's health crisis and her son's estrangement. Meanwhile, Nathan West will stun Dante Falconeri. With Dalton missing and presumably gone for good, Nathan may bring news that the primary witness and victim in Rocco's case has vanished, meaning the charges against the boy are likely to be dropped. This should be cause for celebration, but for Dante, it may be a hollow victory, clouded by his fractured relationship with Gio and the unsettling mystery of Dalton's disappearance. Family tableside fury. Amidst the high-stakes drama, a more personal conflict will erupt for the Robinson family. Stella Henry, while dining out with Curtis Ashford, will go from gushing over a sonogram to releasing her fury. A tableside visitor, likely her daughter, Portia Robinson, who is increasingly worried about her alibi not holding up, will say or do something that gets profoundly under Stella's skin. This scene promises a raw, public explosion of long-simmering family tensions. Note: GH will be preempted on Thursday, November 27th, and Friday, November 28th. Week of December 1st to 5th, consequences and complications. Returning from the preemptions, the first week of December accelerates the consequences of the previous week's decisions, plunging characters deeper into the webs they have woven. The wedding march or a funeral dirge? If Willow accepts Drew's proposal, the week of December 1st to 5th will see them planning a speedy wedding, strategically timed to precede her trial. Drew will relentlessly press the advantage, convincing Willow that a marriage certificate is a more powerful piece of evidence than any testimony. This race to the altar will be a direct provocation to Michael, ensuring that his wrath continues to boil. Their engagement party may be less a celebration and more a strategic war council, setting the stage for a dramatic and potentially interrupted wedding. Windermere's ominous whispers. Lucas Jones's decision to move into Windermere will begin to reveal its dire complications. The strange happenings at the old Cassadine estate, teased by actor Van Hansis, will commence. Lucas, who initially felt he was living in a Love Island mansion, will start to notice things that cannot be explained by Sidwell's charming facade, eerie noises, misplaced objects, or perhaps a lingering trace of Pascal's cleanup that was not as thorough as intended. Jocelyn, already fearful for her friend's safety, will become increasingly vocal about her concerns, creating a rift between her desire to protect Lucas and his desire to believe in the paradise he has chosen with Marco. Carly's failing masquerade. Perhaps the most dangerous tightrope walk belongs to Carly Spencer. Her romantic act with Jack Brennan is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain. Spoilers state that Brennan appalls her, and the sheer effort of pretending affection for a man she finds abhorrent is taking its toll. The central question becomes, how long will it take for a man as perceptive and paranoid as Brennan to sense her deception? The moment he does, the angry threats will cease to be implied and will become terrifyingly explicit. Carly's life may depend on the quality of her performance, and the cracks are beginning to show. Deep dive analysis, the investigations and confessions of November 21st. To understand the momentum building into these 2 weeks, one must look at the pivotal events immediately preceding them. Chase's crusade for truth. Detective Harrison Chase's off-the-books investigation is now bearing fruit. His meeting with Alexis Davis is a game-changer. He confidently declares that he can prove Michael Corinthos lied to the police about his alibi. His case is built on a solid foundation. He has confirmation that Jacinda was with Ezra Boyle on the night Drew was shot, directly contradicting Michael's claim. While Alexis, the lawyer, immediately points out the hearsay problem, Jacinda would simply deny it on the stand. Chase is undeterred. As a detective, he now has a clear path to investigate, find the tangible proof that links Jacinda and Ezra that night, a credit card receipt, hotel security footage, a witness. This revelation is the first major crack in the wall of lies surrounding the shooting. Michael's questionable guidance. In a poignant moment, Michael offers advice to Brook, Lynn, who is struggling with how to parent Gio. She wonders aloud if she could emulate what Carly did with him, a reference to Carly's fiercely protective, and often morally flexible, parenting. This question is loaded with implication, suggesting that Brook Lynn is contemplating whether to side with her son against Dante, potentially justifying Joe's actions to preserve their relationship. Michael, a product of that very style of motherhood, is uniquely positioned to offer guidance, but it may be guidance that leads to further family division. Sonny's perspective to Gio. Simultaneously, Sonny provides a counterweight. His conversation with Gio is a masterclass in seeing the bigger picture. When he tells Gio that there are moving pieces he isn't considering, he is gently guiding the young man toward empathy. He is helping Gio understand that Dante's anger isn't just about the break-in, it's about a father's primal fear for his younger, more vulnerable son, Rocco. Sonny's encouraging words are not about taking sides, but about fostering understanding in a fractured family. Britt's brink of confession. The most critical pressure point, however, remains Britt Westbourne. Her meltdown in front of Jason is the climax of her terror. Sidwell and Pascal's warnings to keep her mouth shut are ringing in her ears, but the weight of her conscience and her fear are becoming unbearable. Her sob to Jason is the sound of a person at the absolute limit. She is on the verge of confession, ready to risk everything. Whether she takes that final step and trusts Jason will determine not only her own fate but potentially expose Sidwell's entire operation.